Ado Awaye Suspended Lake. When the sun went down in Ado Awaye, a small town surrounded by hills in Oyo State, Nigeria, there was worried feelings because a boy had gone missing. The town was known for the suspended lake, a strange place that didn't follow the usual rules of nature. This lake, sitting high up like it was playing with gravity, had a history full of stories about local legends and ancient gods. People talked about supernatural things happening around it. Suspended lakes are large bodies of water that have pooled on a mountain or a hill, and the one in Ado Awaye is perched on Oke Ado, a large hill in this mysterious town. Ado Awaye itself has an interesting history. It was founded when a prince of the Oyo kingdom was denied his right to the throne because he was considered not to be a true son of the royal household. His mother hailed from Ota, and his brother was crowned king instead of him. Out of anger, he journeyed into his mother's hometown, encountering people in the Ado community along the way. These people were escapees from the Dahomey War, and upon learning that the prince had royal blood, they made him their king. Eventually, Ado joined with the neighboring town of Owaye, forming the town we know today as Ado Awaye. To reach the suspended lake, one must climb the hill, and it takes about 25 minutes to ascend 365 ancient stairs. Something scary happened. A young boy who loved exploring went too close to the suspended lake and disappeared. The news spread quickly, and the whole town was worried. The boy's mother Amina was really sad and scared. She shouted and looked everywhere for her son, getting more scared as time passed. Some tourists who came to see the suspended lake heard about the missing boy and wanted to help. Amina pleaded with them to join the search. As it got dark, local authorities explained the old stories and the strange things linked to the suspended lake. The lake was closed for a while, and the group had to figure out what happened to the boy. With flashlights and a mix of fear and determination, the group went up the hill, heading for the mysterious lake. The air was thick with anticipation as they climbed the stair and walked along the winding path, feeling the sharp cries in the night. The vegetation had grown thick, making it difficult to navigate. The forest canopy was thick as the search party progressed, and monkeys jumped from one tree to the other, dropping fruit weeds on the ground. About halfway up, they came across the Ishage rock, a large rock sitting on the hill looking mystical. The people believed that the rock had great powers, and many people came there to ask for favors from the rock. And when their favors were granted, they returned to the rock to tie white cloths around it to show appreciation. During times of famine, priestesses prayed to Oke Ishage for rainfall for their farms and families. The search party flashed their flashlights around as they looked for the boy. Amina, his mother, kept shouting his name, Musa, but the boy was not there. As they went further, shadows moved around them, making things even scarier. The ancient gods from the story felt like they were watching. Finding the missing boy turned into a journey into the heart of Ado Awaye's mysteries, where reality and old tales mixed in the moonlight. The group kept going, their flashlights cutting through the dark, hoping to find the boy. They continued climbing up the hill, flashing their flashlights around and calling out the missing boy's name. His mother was extremely worried, repeatedly expressing her hope that nothing bad had happened to her son. As they reached the end of the climb, they could see the town below from the high mountain. The sight was lovely, with lights from homes in the distance, but the concern for the missing boy overshadowed any beauty of the town they saw from the hilltop. They called the boy's name, and one of the searchers signaled for everyone to be silent. He had heard a sound. They all paused and listened. It was like a whistling noise, leaving them confused. The missing boy's mother, filled with hope, asked if it could be her son whistling. After some time, one of the search party members exclaimed that he knew what it was. It was the sound of the wind rustling through the shrubs. Their flashlights then fell on something that looked like holes on the ground. Curious, someone asked what those were. A guide among them explained that they were called Eshe Awonaba, meaning footprints of the elders. He mentioned that they were probably used for grinding ingredients or as pits for dyeing clothes. Further, he shared stories that there once lived a woman named Iya Alaro, meaning the tie and dye woman, who was an expert in tie and dye work. There was a pool of water nearby called Iya Alaro Lake, where she would rinse her work. However, Amina, the missing boy's mother, reminded the group of why they were there. Her son was still missing. The guide reassured her that they would find him. They began searching on top of the hill, starting at the elephant tree, which was actually the roots of a fallen baobab tree that resembled the head and trunk of an elephant. They looked around it, but the boy was not there. My son, Amina lamented. He is not here. I'm sure something bad has happened to him. The guide gently held her, consoling her, and assured her that they would continue the search at Iyake Lake. Leading the way, the others followed, and as they approached the lake, the light from their flashlights revealed its beautiful deep green color, glowing under the beams. The guide said that many stories were told about Iyake Lake. It was believed that numerous spirits lived within its depths, and locals thought that bathing with its water could help cure illnesses. Legend had it that a woman from Ota, Ogun State, moved to the lake from the Oyo Empire. Despite being kind and well-loved, she faced mockery for not having children. Eventually, overwhelmed by despair, she jumped into the lake and ended it all, giving it the name Iyake Lake. It was believed that drinking water from the lake cured childlessness and other diseases, so people sometimes drank the water, and many collected the water when they visited the lake. Amina cried that she had heard story that the lake was a portal to another world, and that it sucked people into it. She feared that the lake had pulled her son deep into its waters. The situation worsened when a member of the search team mentioned a story about 3 foreign engineers who dived into the lake to see how deep it was. Only one came out, and Amina cried out louder, "My son! My son!" As she cried, a light moved towards them. All eyes turned toward the direction of the moving light. The light seemed to communicate, and as it approached, they realized it was another guide running towards them, exclaiming, "We have found the boy!" Amina rushed towards the guide, desperately, asking which boy. "We have found your son," the guide replied. "He went home from here without telling you. A neighbor of yours came to tell us down the hill." Happiness erupted among everyone as the boy's mother thanked God. She looked at the beautiful sight of the lake reflecting the moonlight and said, "I know this beautiful Iyake Lake will never harm my son or anyone that comes here to admire its beauty." Singing and chanting happily, they all began their walk down the hill under the smiling moonlight. Thank you for joining us on this awe-inspiring journey. If the story of the suspended lake has captured your imagination, don't forget to subscribe for more tales that celebrate the wonders of our world. Until next time,